In this video, I'm installing the ARB Twin Air Compressor under the hood of my 2020 Jeep Gladiator Django. There are a ton of spots where you can install an air compressor in the truck bed, behind the rear seat, under the rear seat, under the passenger seat. I decided to install mine in the engine bay for a couple of reasons. First, they can be on the loud side, and I wasn't sure if I wanted that inside the interior of the Jeep with me. And all those places I just listed, I'm already storing stuff. I have recovery gear behind the rear seat. I have recovery gear under the seats, and that's where I store bags and other things. And I didn't want that taking up valuable storage space, which is so limited in the Jeeps. And I decided I'm gonna go with air lockers. The decision to go with the air locker versus the e-locker was a big decision just in itself. I even reached out to the community and I got some great responses from everybody sharing their personal experiences with each. And it came out to being just about the same, and air lockers just never really beat e-lockers. So I figured I'm gonna give it a try, get some experience under my belt. When I get to the point of getting the lockers and the regearing done, I'm definitely gonna share that on the channel, so keep a lookout for that. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer air lockers or e-lockers? There's a lot of different places where you can install it in the engine bay. The one that looked pretty interesting to me at first is having it by the fender on the driver's side, but the catalytic converter's in that area, which is going to produce a lot of heat. And since I decided to go with air lockers, not only do I have the air compressor, but there's the manifold kit that goes along with it, and that's going to take up even more space. So that wasn't going to work. I wanted to get the compressor as high as possible so I don't have to worry about water and dirt and heat from some of those bigger components. So I found the kit from 813 Fabrication that does it high up in the hood by the battery. The mount can fit a single or twin compressor along with the manifold if you're going to do air lockers. So that's why I decided to go with that mount in that location. Now let's get this installation started. Start with the 813 Fabrication mount. The slots you use depends on whether you have the single or twin compressor. The mount allows you to adjust the position of the air compressor as needed. It also comes with a mounting plate for the switch and air chuck, and hardware is provided. What isn't included is adhesive heat shield to protect the compressor from the high temperatures in the engine bay. Attach the heat shield to the bottom of the mount and cut out holes for the mounting slots based on your specific configuration. Now let's check out the air compressor. It's definitely heavier than I expected. I have a manual, hardware and switch, air filters, power harness, switch harness. This is the manifold kit. I bought this and the accessories directly from 813 Fabrication. You'll need this kit if you're going to use air lockers. The kit comes with hardware and a hose. We're not going to be using them for this setup. The air from the compressor will travel into the manifold, where you'll connect the air chuck and also the solenoids for the air lockers if you have them. The manifold attaches to the front of the mount. The hose, air chuck, and 90-degree fittings were all part of the kit I purchased from 813 Fabrication, or you can get them separately yourself. Secure the air compressor to the mount using the hardware provided in the ARB box. Tighten with a 10mm socket. Attach the manifold to the mount using the provided hardware. Tighten the bolt using a 10mm socket and 4mm Allen wrench. Here's how everything should look so far. Grab the 90-degree fittings and the Teflon tape. Put the Teflon tape on the threading. You want to do this with all of the fittings. Screw them into the compressor and the manifold. Remember to use Teflon tape and screw the fitting into the manifold. Put Teflon tape on the 90-degree fittings and attach the hose from the compressor to the manifold. Use the 14mm wrench to tighten them. Connect the air chuck to the manifold. Remember to use that Teflon tape and tighten with a 19mm wrench. Remove the red plugs and screw in the air filters. Now it's time for the wiring. This is the power harness. There are two red 10 gauge wires that connect to the positive terminal. One 8 gauge black and white wire and one thin black wire that connect to the negative battery terminal. The switch harness turns the compressor on and off. This connection is for the front and rear lockers. These are the on and off wires for the lockers and compressor. The purple wire is the compressor. This last section of harness is to use the ARB switches. Since I have an auxiliary switch bank, I won't be needing this section. Attach ring connectors to the power and ground wires. I decided to try a Spade disconnect on the purple on-off wire that connects to the aux switch bank. The wiring is all set, now time to get it installed in the Jeep. Remove the engine cover using a T30 bit. If this video has been helpful, like and subscribe so you don't miss my next installation. Use a 10mm socket to remove this nut. Place the mount on the screw and secure in the place with the nut. Use the mounting hardware to attach the other end of the mount to the Jeep. Use a 10mm socket and 4mm Allen wrench to secure the bolts. I'm using an aftermarket auxiliary bank because my factory bank is full. If you're going to use the factory bank, the 4 wires are tucked by the battery. I'm using switch 3 because 1 and 2 will be used for the air lockers. Attach the purple wire to the auxiliary switch wire using the Spade connectors. Connect the switch harness to the compressor. Connect the power harness into the compressor. Attach the positive and negative wires to the battery. That's everything. Let's see if it's going to work. Good to go. To see the auxiliary switch install, click the end screen now.